You delay. Oh, there we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, we are in for another podcast, wonderful podcast episode with our second guest. He really should have been our first, but we had some scheduling
Word.
issues. This is the man of the hour. This is the man of the year right here for the WTF podcast, Mr. Storm Leroy, employed millionaire himself. He's my personal and Big E's personal mentor. We met a couple of years back, and me and Storm just kind of built a relationship of crypto and finance. I never would have thought we would have had so much in common outside of the mentorship, but I'm blessed and honored to know this guy personally and call him a friend of mine. He is from Brooklyn, New York. He is a mentor in real estate, both international and domestic. Hence the employed millionaire. He has his own brand, Employed Millionaire, as y'all can see on his hat, his jacket, and he has a podcast. He has a YouTube page on YouTube called Eye of the Storm. Welcome to the WTF podcast, Mr. Storm Leroy, Employed Millionaire. What's up, brother?
Hey,
My
man,
man.
thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. It's an honor to be here.
Hey,
And I
man,
look
you know
forward
I
to
can't
it.
let that go, bro. Like, I got to jump in here, man. You trying to steal all. Look, we got one of the great ones, you all. Like, I know my guy came with it, but my guy Storm Leroy is like, when I put men on a certain level, he's top shelf in every aspect.
Wow.
And I mean, I can go down the line and tell you all the stories about me and this guy, but I remember when I first met you, Storm, man, and you probably don't remember this, but I was being extra, trying to, be fit into the room, and you came up and I was sitting down, you came up from behind and whispered to me. He said, "Brother, I'm gonna love watching your growth." And I never forgot that. That was the first words you ever said to me other than "what's up." But you said, I'm gonna love watching your growth. And that I said, man, he sees something in me that
Yes.
maybe I didn't even see all the way. And one more thing I gotta say this. My man put me on the second biggest stage that I've ever been on. So I always pay homage to you, brother, for that. And I appreciate
Appreciate you.
you for giving me that opportunity, man. And this we could talk all day about Storm and all his accolades and out of state real estate, out of country real estate, the millionaire magnet. I mean, he has a community of all type of investors. My man is in crypto, and I mean, he's just into investing. But his number one investment that I believe that he does is investing into his people because he's so big on his people. So I
Yes.
gotta give you your flowers, bro. I appreciate you again as always. We're gonna get into these questions, but hey, man, it's such an honor. Like I feel like a little
Absolutely.
kid right now, man. I'm so happy about this.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate being here, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the great words. And the key thing to summarize from everything, it's not about me, it's about the people. It really is, man. From the moment that I knew my calling and what I'm supposed to be doing, I said, you have to take out of the equation that you're here for wealth, you're here for the spotlight, you're here for that. No, it's impact. And if I don't cause any impact, then I'm not living up to this gift that I've been given to have a presence where when I speak and when I enter a room, people notice that. Like that was the thing when I was younger that I was like, damn, you have this presence, this aura. What are you going to do with it? Once I honed in on that, my life's never been the same once I got my message.
Mm, my man.
So that's a great segue, brother. And just to kind of jump to the end before we get started, if you want to go ahead and just plug what your message is, what events you have coming up, like what future plans you want the people to be on the lookout that's associated with you. Let's go ahead and get to that before we, get to the background and where you came from and how you got to where you are, just in case some people fall off a little early.
Yeah, my thing is community. So if anybody want to come hang out, I have an opportunity. You go to IamAMillionaireMagnet.com. come hang out with my community. Our goal in that community is to turn people into savvy investors, not just real estate, but in everything. There's a $1 trillion wealth transition happening right now. And I don't want us to miss out on that. It's not just real estate. It's in a lot of spaces. It's in crypto, it's in stock, it's in real estate, it's in land, it's in every single thing is changing. So I want to make sure people have the opportunity to get involved with that, and not just me say, oh, come do this specialty that I do. Come do this specialty. And no, we should allow our community. If you believe that something else is coming down the pipe and you're investing in it, and you have a community and you're not telling them about it, you're being selfish. How are you just going to tell your community about crypto when you're over here investing in real estate or land? Why you ain't telling them how to get money in land? If you're investing in land, how you not telling them, but you got crypto account, you ain't telling them about crypto? Well, what is that? Nah, we all need to have a toolbox with many different tools. You just don't have a hammer in there and think you're going to build you a house. It's not how it happens.
Big facts. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So yeah, very well said, man. And let's go ahead and jump into like your background. So just in case the people that are listening haven't heard of you, so can you give a bit of background of how you got to the place that you are in your current field, and like, you know, just kind of give the people a short snippet of your journey up until this point.
Who is the employee millionaire?
Yeah.
Man, okay. Brooklyn, New York, y'all covered that. To give you the quick version, I started working for Verizon. And when I got that job, I knew all along. I said to myself, well, I knew all along I didn't want to be there. I got there, said, yo, I'm only going to be here 2 years. I'm only going to work this job 2 years. Started getting that money, got that salary, got comfortable. 2 years, turned to 4, turned to 6, turned to 8. And I was like, what the? This is it. This is what it looks like. You coming from a space of being an entrepreneur, had my own barbershop, you know, as an artist, I'm on the road. Like I never had this thing about, I had this thing where I never wanted to be handcuffed and tied down to a desk. I didn't believe in somebody being my boss. And I said, what can you do besides wait for 35 years to retire? There has to be something else you can figure out. You know, the guys at my job, the OGs, their mindset was, I got 15 years left. I got 20 years left. And they made up their mind. But what they did was they were actually putting on to me that thing that I can wait. You can be complacent. You can do it. You can do 35 years. You can do 40 years. Because look, we're doing it. But that wasn't my mind, to be at somebody's job. So what I did was I bought this first piece of property in 1999. And when I bought that property, that was all due to my dad, this man right here. It's my dad. He gave me that input in my mind. He wanted to buy real estate, but during the 70s and we knew about the redlining. For those that don't know, redlining was in minority areas and low income Black areas specifically. They weren't giving mortgages. They wouldn't allow us to buy homes. They didn't give us any. We were just trapped. My dad wanted to own our home. So as I got older, was able to buy my own real estate, and I bought that real estate. That's when I felt this thing come over me. It's like, damn, my dad would be so proud. I gutted the real estate. But what happened was, after I ended up gutting this real estate, I was in the basement, 3 floors are ripped out. I'm looking all the way up at the roof. No electric, no plumbing, no nothing. I said to myself, my dad would be really proud. But I also looked up and said, I'm never going to do this again. This shit was work. And my dad was teaching me, by him being a hard worker working construction, that hard work really gets you nowhere but tired. And what I mean by nowhere, it doesn't build wealth. It wears your body down. I watched him go from a 250-pound muscle man to dying at literally 90-something pounds. That was the wear and tear, what it did to his body. So once I got that place, did all that, I ended up getting another job. I became a landlord. I had tenants in there telling me what the hell to do, when they're going to pay me, what needed to be fixed. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. You know, I already had a boss, a foreman at Verizon, and now I got these people telling me what to do. So I literally backed out of real estate. Like being a landlord is something that real estate investors don't tell other people who want to buy real estate. We only tell y'all how good it is to buy real estate. Buy you some real estate is the best thing you can ever do. Real estate is the best thing you can ever have. Shh, but don't tell them about being a landlord. See, that's our dirty little secret. You see what I'm saying? That's our dirty little secret. So now I have stopped buying real estate. I embraced the fact that I will be retiring at 2027. Now think about that. It's not even 2027 now. I still would have been at Verizon to this day working if I didn't take the initiative to invest in out-of-state real estate. I took my salary, $8,000, and I need to tell everybody, your job is your first business partner. I took $8,000, bought me a piece of property in Indianapolis that was Section 8, managed by a property managed company. I didn't have to do anything. That property was making $6,000 a year from an $8,000 investment. I said, man, that was easy. Let me go get me another one. When they got me another one, start partnering with people. I end up leaving Verizon in 5 years, owning 34 properties, making over $20,000 a month. Employed millionaire, that was it. I said, let me go tell the world, you can have real estate without being a landlord. Here's how it's done.
Man, hey, and you know what? You the first one that I ever heard break it down like that with the 3/4 LLCs. And I mean, man, the way you teach that is like, it's mind blowing, because I've owned a few properties, and you're right. I didn't had to go to court with people, don't want to get up out of the house. Now they have the squatters rule, and it's a lot of stuff that comes with that, man. And if you don't have the mindset to be a landlord, yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. I don't want anything to do with being a landlord ever, you know. But the way you break it down for your community and show the different LLCs, man, and I don't want to put all your stuff out there, but man, the way you dice it up and make it so simple, and then don't even mention the trust part. So we ain't even gonna. I don't want to spoil them with the trust part, man. But hey,
we could get into all that. We got time.
Yeah, no doubt, because a lot of people are like, what's a trust? Keep on listening. That's what you need to do, because we're gonna dangle that out there for you. But my man is definitely on point with all of those. But jump on in, Crypto.
Yes, sir. So one thing that I did hear you say that I didn't know previously to this talk that we're having is that you were planning on retiring in 2027, which is amazing. But one thing that I'm curious about, and I'm pretty sure people at home are curious about as well, is what is your definition of retirement? I mean, like, do you want to sit on the beach and just say, hey, I'm living off my, royalties of all of my assets? Or do you like, what is your definition of retirement? And how does that look for a millionaire such as yourself?
Well, retirement is just leaving something that was a job. That's really it. Like, I'm quitting this thing that I've been doing for this long time. That was something that was an actual job. Somebody was paying me to do that. See, what I'm doing now, this isn't a job. I pay myself. It's my own time. I'm not going to retire from it, because it isn't something that somebody's holding over my head of, well, we've paid you enough, you're getting too old. And no, it's my business. So for retirement for me was leaving what somebody else had control of my destiny. And now me taking back control of my destiny to do what I want to do. I always say, if you sit there at a job and you're content, you're actually waiting for somebody to come in and kill your dream by telling you fired. Like, you need to go out there and relive the imagination you had in your brain as a child. You had a vivid imagination. You wanted to be an astronaut. You wanted to be a ball player. You wanted to be a lawyer. You wanted to be a fireman. You wanted to be all these things when you was a kid, because you didn't know the adversities facing you out there. But then somebody in the house came in saying, I hate my job. Man, I got to go back to work tomorrow. Let me eat dinner. I got to go to bed. I got to get up early. I got to go to work. And then I come back. They ain't paying me. They held back my money. Man, I can't wait. I got to go find me another job. Now you're looking at them going, job? The hell is a job? Well, people pay you to go do something you don't want to do? Man. Okay, so now you get ruined. Then you take that mindset and go into the school system where now they're indoctrinating you for the assembly line. You get up in the morning, get dressed, come to this place, you do this work, you eat lunch, you go back to work, then you go home. It's just called school. Yeah. It's work. Now, when you get out of school, you're going to find a job to treat you like you were being treated when you were going to school.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So it's the assembly line. It's a pattern. That's all it is.
Man. Woo.
Man, that's something that
we talk about that all the time. So I mean, this school system is so outdated because it was generated by the Rockefellers when they came out with child labor laws. Like man, look, and I learned that from you. So I'm repeating what you taught me. But man, this cyclical world that we live in, it takes certain people like you to show the people how to break away from that. Because man, life got hands and she'll put them on you in a heartbeat. As soon as you think I'm gonna do something different, bam, here come a bill, here come a death in the family, and then we go right back to what we were programmed to do when we were kids, as you stated, to choke out that imagination and fall in line with the assembly line, because we're being trained soon as we jump into that school to be workers. They don't teach you. I mean, my man Dimitri can tell you this because he went to business school, but most people getting out of business school have no clue on how to run a business. They just know how to pass a damn test and how to show up. But it's crazy. Yeah. This system, man, we gotta fix this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go ahead.
Could y'all pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
I gotta fix.
Yeah, so what you were saying, man, was spot on, and I do want to just make a few comments on my own experience. And to be honest with you, I would not be on this podcast with Storm, with UE, if I had not gone through the experiences that I had gone through. Because after being not deployed, but after being fired, after being laid off from
deployed.
I want to make a nice word, but I was deployed from my job in 2020 after COVID hit in April, and I was the only manager in my department out of 4 who had a degree. Nonetheless, I was the only manager in my department who was the color that I am. So that left a sour taste in my mouth after working so hard at Georgia State, one of the top 50 business schools in the country, having studied all the stuff that I've studied after, what like you said, man, was spot on, bro. Like, I finished business school, didn't know nothing about business, and self-taught myself everything that I know. And having worked so hard to climb that corporate ladder, and then to get let go after being the only one in my department that had a degree, I'm like, what is the point of having a degree if y'all gonna let me go and I'm the only one that has one? So that led me to seek a different route, to really look inside myself. I took a couple of years off after I got fired, and I that time period I just did some soul searching. I'm like, what is it that I really need to be doing? And working a job and continuously pretty much begging somebody or going to interviews to pay me to hire me. Oh, I'm worthy enough. Oh, great employer, please hire me. That was how I felt, hey, basically begging the man to give me some money. And I knew I was worth way more than that, so.
And not even good money.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Going to work to do something that I really didn't even like in the first place, like Storm was saying. So, what I'm getting at is that, like you said, life throws you them hands, and it does it for the greater good if you believe that you are meant for something better. And for me, that was the case. So I was looking for a different solution, and the word says, seeking you shall find. And I found the mentorship that Storm was a part of, and that you were a part of, and it was just a match made in heaven. So I'm glad I took that chance on myself of seeking knowledge, as Storm always says. And here we are. Like I'm reaching higher heights than I've ever had in my personal business life. Not so much in my corporate business life, but that's okay. Now I have that freedom to pursue that happiness, to pursue that purpose in my own personal life. So yeah, thank you, Storm, for creating that platform to really launch us.
I'm glad I could be a part of that. And I'm gonna tell you something about both of you guys. When I see E, I remember him standing up. I don't think he remembered this part. When I walked by you at the ball, remember we were at the event where you were standing up. And I was walking by you, and I said, yeah, this is gonna be good, man. We're gonna do a lot of good stuff together. And you were like, your energy was on 1,000, right? Let's be clear. Energy was on 1,000, and I was like, yeah, he got a lot in him. He got us a story to tell, and it's like I knew I had to hear. You had to get it out. Yeah, it was in you, and I was like, I don't have right now. We can't listen to it in this room. It's just a lot going, but I need to hear this man's story because I know he has something to share and something to say. And I know another thing, the biggest obstacle he has is himself. If he could get out his own way, he gonna be all right. And I ain't even have a conversation with you, because a lot of times, like, you just sense it. And I'm like, hopefully, what we have to do, we have to humble ourselves. And really, it's not even humbling yourselves for the mercy of somebody else. It's just humbling yourself to show that you can do it.
Yes.
Sometimes there can be somebody who's dead wrong, but the best times you need to do is be quiet and let them be wrong loud, and you be right silently.
Ooh, that's a bar.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's a bar.
When you just let them be wrong and everybody else look and go, that dude's wrong. He's really loud being wrong. And then they look at you and go, man, he got better control than me, because I would have to do this and do that. But that speaks for your character. Just be silent, chill. Let it. There's that thing. And for me, you grab that. Every now and then we'll talk, and the old you will come out. And I told you that before.
Yeah, you did.
So, I don't want to see that guy. That guy, he can't get you to where you see yourself visually going.
Agreed.
The person who you speaking out of your mouth can't get to the place who you visually see yourself being. It can't. It's not a match. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
The picture has to match the frame. And I want to always lean on you with that. And then, when me and this brother here met, we was at we met, but I mean really talked. It was at the hotel room when everybody got together.
Yeah.
And, I'm leaning up against the little thing there. We just chilling. I'm like, yo, what you do? You introduced me to him. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I do a little crypto. I was like, oh, get out of here. So, I was a little bit interested. And we talking. I said, I like this. He's not being too much of, oh, man, I know it all. Just give me a minute to show you. Just let me show you. Like, give me a minute. Yo, man, like, this is my way in. Yo, Storm, I'm telling you. You feel me? And that's what I like. He was like, nah, you get some time. Let's connect. Let's talk about it. And I said, nah, I like this. I like this energy. We could work. And the key thing for me, it's always easy for me to humble myself and just be like, did you know what you're doing? Cool. Just do it. Let's rock. And y'all two make a good match, because I know how you push and pull. And I know how D could just be like,
I don't know what you talking about, man.
Right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could just lay back and let you be you.
Yeah.
And y'all won't clash. So this is a perfect match all day.
Yeah.
I call him my brains, bro.
Enough of me being a psychoanalysis on y'all situation.
Nah, but this is good, man, because we've never had anybody do this on this show, and we've never really done it to ourselves. So it's good to hear a different perspective, because you are spot on. Like, we're if you look at us on the surface, we're polar opposites, but when we work together, man, we have that synergy, man, that just works. So yeah, definitely blessed to have this brother in my corner every single day.
Hey man, and I appreciate it, bro. So Storm, I gotta tug on this, man, because you said it. You said make your how did you say it? Make your job your
First business
job,
partner.
your first business partner.
Explain what that means to the people, bro. Because I've heard it before, but I really want to hear it from you.
Yeah, the key thing is your job is paying you to be great. Your job is paying you to go believe in yourself. Your job is paying you to make an investment. An investment is in yourself. Your job isn't paying you to go pay bills every week, every month, and then come back begging for more money. Because as you come back and ask the job for more money, they're going to say, well, guess what? We need more work. Then you're going to realize you're being underpaid to overperform. So why don't you take some of that money to invest in what you believe in, what you know you can do? Because you literally find a reason not to pay a bill now. We literally will go, I'm going to pay that bill next week because Christmas is coming. I got to get the kids the toys. So I'm going to pay them bills 2 weeks. Or my birthday coming, we want to go to Dubai. So we're going to go, me and my wife, me and the boys, we're going to go to Cancun, and I'm going to just go take this trip. I'll deal with that bill later. I'll take that $100 late fee or whatever. And see, but you ain't got that mentality when it comes to investing in yourself. You ain't got that mentality. You just be like, yo, I got to pay that bill now. I got to do this now. I got to do this now. But how many, you know, it's tough for me because it's not to the fault of the individual. We will run to find a charger before our cell phone dies, but we won't run to find a plan before our dream dies.
Woo! Come on,
but that's no fault to ours. That comes from everybody around us. That's everybody who you asked advice, who you learned from, our mothers and our fathers, our uncles. And that wasn't their fault because they literally coming from a generation who couldn't get jobs, who wouldn't hire them. Then when they finally got accepted into the job system, having a job and coming home was like, I got a job. Oh, really? Oh, man, that's an incredible thing. You know, you think back to 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, I want you to think about the progression, and we can't hold it against them. There was a time like when my mom and my dad came from the South. My mother had to come here. She had to, be a housemaid. My father came in. He had to come do construction. And that was all off the books. You was all at the mercy of the person who hired you. They wanted to pay you, they pay you. If they wanted to fire you, they fire you. If they wanted you to stay, you had to stay. Then you have the next generation after that, who now the city said, we're going to open up jobs. So now you're able to get a sanitation job. You're able to get Verizon jobs, postal worker jobs, those jobs that were all mostly white nepotism jobs. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to slow it down. White jobs of nepotism, where you get hired to these jobs. They had their brothers, their sisters, their mothers, their father. My uncle got me this job. My brother got me my job. This person, once we got into this work field, and when I started working for Verizon, everybody was family. Oh, that's my cousin. That's my brother. I'm like, damn, what the hell? Everybody hired everybody. But as soon as I got hired, I couldn't go to the manager and say, hire my brother. All that shit went out the window. So now once we start getting into this middle class, I always say, where did all those white people go, those white faces go, who are no longer taking those middle classes job? Though they got a promotion. They got promoted into working into the corporate world, working on the Wall Street nepotism, the office corporation nepotism. See, the middle class nepotism got squashed when we got in that world. But all it did was just elevate itself up to now they went into those buildings, into the city. And now we were the ones out there doing sanitation, garbage, all these other things. And as you look around into this world, I'm going to get back on that question, but I want to really plant this seed in the people's head to realize your job isn't promised to you to last forever. So you need to take advantage of it now. Right. Yes. So when I go to other places and travel now, and I want y'all to think about this, you can go to another country, even another, not even a country, just go to somewhere nice in the United States. You see all these people who don't look like us enjoying life. You're out there vacationing and you're amongst them. But who do you see working? Who do you see selling the hot dogs? Who you see selling the trinkets? Who you see picking up the trash? Who you see that's us. We're not even having a chance to enjoy your paycheck and be on vacation while all these other races are out there enjoying themselves. You go away for the weekend, you go to these Central Park, you go all these, I'm naming places in New York, Bear Mountain, you name them. Who are these families? You see all these other families who don't look like us, but when it's time to pick up trash and do this and all this, it's us. So the promise of having a middle-class job, where that middle-class job used to be able to have your wife stay at home, put your kids through school, get a car, pay a mortgage, do all these things, went away as soon as we got it. The mother, the father, you needed 2 jobs now. Now the kid's by herself home. Like, things completely change so much. So I want you to say to yourself, will it ever stop changing? The evolution of the job is dying. Think about so much AI technology and robotics coming into place now. Your job will not be there for you in a matter of years. But people are so delusional to think my job ain't never going nowhere. They always going to need an accountant. They always going to need a bookkeeper. No, they're not.
Oh, they're not.
When people start building technologies and AI, they were like, well, if you learn how to do code, you're always going to have a job. No, you won't. Once you create the robots and the AI, they're going to start writing codes, which they're doing now. Mm-hmm. No job is safe, period. None. So what you need to do, take that salary, start investing in technology and investing in the future. Because once 30 million jobs are predicted to be gone, 30 million jobs are predicted to be gone in a matter of years. What's going to happen with those 30 million people? Who do they look like? Most of them look like us, right? Mm-hmm. So now all these jobs are gone. What's going to happen? They need to put them on some type of program. There's a government program that I want people to look into called the UBI. UBI. That program there is going to start paying people who will never be able to find jobs to stay at home and get money from the government. So now the same people that feed you can starve you, right? So the government's paying you. They're going to now pay your rent. Like, what world do we live in where you trust the government? And I hate to say it, but I only could be real.
Right.
What kind of world do you live in where you see where this country has come from, the mindset of the people who run the country from back then by killing millions of Native Americans to even now, and land killing millions of babies and kids for real estate? And I'm talking about the current war going on, and they're not even ceasefire. They're trying to go get food. Not even last week, a few days ago, these people were sending food aid to go feed these people, and they blew up 3 food trucks trying to feed them. This is the same, like this. You think this country is going to care about you? You need to start investing. You need to start thinking about where the future of money is going, where the future of technology is going. Invest in that technology. You need to start thinking about having an extra passport, an extra visa, and thinking about leaving the country. Because once they shut the country down again, you will be trapped. And I don't want you to be under the delusion of that these millions of migrants who come in here are the problem. No, they're not the problem. What they're doing is fixing a problem that our younger generation has created in a good way. In a good way. Because our children are saying, we don't want to do construction. We don't want to work postal. We don't want to do these jobs. We want to do technology. We want to have businesses. We want to do tech. We want to create podcasts. We want to do our own freedom. But this freedom that the young people want so much comes at a cost. The military is depleted. They're having proxy wars. 3 million baby boomers are retiring every year. Those jobs are not being fulfilled. The government's in a quagmire now, and they need someone to take those jobs. That's where the migrants come in. So now the only thing that we had of value as people was our vote. And we charged them nothing for that vote for many years. We didn't charge them anything. Now these new millions of people in a few years, then maybe the next election by 4 years, they'll be able to vote. What good is a black person if they don't need their votes anymore? I saw the Gallup. Everybody who knows what the Gallup poll is when they get ready to have an election, they have categories. It says whites with college degrees, who they'll be voting for. Whites without college degrees, and who they're expected to vote for. Normally, right after that is African American. You know what was after there this time? Hispanics. They didn't even have black people up for the Gallup poll.
Wow.
Like, I know I went in a whole nother place, but to put a bow on that whole thing, if you don't take advantage of the salary you're getting from your job now as an investment, you're going to be under the thumb of a program that's going to give you money, as a certain amount of money that they want to give you, not the money you deserve, not the money that you're capable of making. They're going to say, no, we're going to give you $1,000 a month. Now go make that work and go back into your house that we're paying the rent for. And if you don't do what we want, we'll kick you out of it. So start taking advantage of the salary before it disappears. The day Amazon says we're going to lay off 25 or 50% our workforce, it's going to be a whole different look, man.
Man, hey, I believe everything that you just
absolutely
said.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, so I think during COVID, Amazon did lay off a lot of people. So I think people have a short memory about how bad things can get, especially in the recent past in 2008. I mean, things got kind of scary for a lot of people, but since the stock market is at all-time highs, everything's okay. So
we're not talking about that now.
Yeah, I know. I'm trolling there, but just to kind of drive your point home, Storm. Yeah, people kind of get into this thing called the normalcy bias, where they think that, oh, just because things are the same or they've been done a certain way, then they'll always continue to be that way. And thank you for shining some light on the fact that everything has a time limit, especially our lifespan at a particular job. So yeah, definitely take advantage of that salary that you are getting if you are employed right now. E, did you have something? If not, I'll go ahead and keep going.
I just wanted to make sure that the people knew. Because people always take stuff and want to run with snippets, and the man didn't say quit your job. He said make your job your first business partner. That means while you making that money, stop jacking it off with these trips and these raggedy cars you buy every year when you get these taxes, and take that money and invest it. Join the IamAMillionaireMagnet.com. Go out there and get with other investors and keep your job. Take that money with some discipline and get you some land, get you some property, get you some investments. But I can listen to you talk all day, bro. You already know.
D, I can't let you get by without me touching that stock thing, right? I can't.
For sure. Go ahead.
I love the stock market. Stock market's been doing great. And you should invest in stocks. That's one of our wins, right? But 3 weeks ago, if it was 3 weeks ago, could have been 2, $9 billion of stocks were sold. Jeff Bezos sold 5 billion of his stocks. Zuckerberg sold 4 billion of his stocks. The Chase Bank CEO, I can't think of his name, he sold almost $1 billion in stocks. Normally, when a CEO sells 5 billion of his own stocks, the market will move. People would get nervous. You had 3 CEOs selling their stocks and the market didn't budge. That's not normal. The market kept moving. But you know what else happened the following week? First of all, where did you think they put that money? They didn't put it in a savings account. They didn't bury it in the ground. They reinvest that money. And the following week, crypto hit an all-time high.
Yeah.
Why? You have to prepare. Follow the money. That's it. Just follow the money. We can get so blinded when they let us into the party. It's like they kept us out of real estate for years. And it's like, yeah, come on and buy real estate. Go start buying real estate. While they went on to go buy hotels, buy lands, buy companies, and go buy this. Just like all the trinkets we get. They wore Rolexes. We go get a Rolex. We ain't buying Rolexes no more. They want to drink Moet, and we start drinking Moet. They move on to Cristal. We start drinking Cristal, and like, we ain't drinking Cristal. We moving on to something else. They start driving these kind of cars. We go get one. They move on to something else. Of course, now they're moving on to the next thing. And I'm not saying don't get involved with the stock market. What I'm saying is, where's the next thing? So we're not second. We got to stop being eager to be the first second. Be the first one in your family to change your legacy. Be the first one to start investing in that thing in crypto or whatever it is, and stop saying, you go do it, I'll go do it next. You go do it, I'll go do it. Stop wanting to be the first second. Everything has changed. One day, not even one day. Right now, your grandchildren have possibly never touched a piece of paper money yet. They're using their phone to buy everything. They're never going to have paper, but then there's somebody walking around here talking about the dollar ain't never going away. Get away from him. Right. Get as far away as you can from that person who's saying, I'm just going to keep paper money. That's the same guy who got a closet full of CDs and DVDs and cassette tapes and VHS talking about this is coming back. That's the same guy. All right. Technology is undefeated. Start investing now while it's only at this little bitty point, because underneath that water, that tip of the iceberg, there's a big piece of ice underneath. Start investing and getting in this game now. I had to get that out, my brother.
Man, yes, definitely needed to be said. And and technology, there's something just to kind of prove your point through like science. It's something called Moore's law, where it states that a microchip or a computer processor shrinks by half its size, and the processing capacity doubles every 2 or 4 years or something like that. So that's why you see, like, back in the 70s and like 80s, like IBM had these big old mainframes. Now we have the same processing power on our cell phones because of Moore's law. And like they actually have something else. And I think I sent you this, but there's like an AI little clip on where you can interact with this AI thing, and it displays stuff and you talk to it. So it's like a chat GPT on steroids, but it's attached to you. So it's becoming wearable now. So these phones are even going to be outdated. Like, this phone hasn't changed in 15 years, you all. So guess what's coming next? Wearables, implantables. So, hey, listen, I don't want to dive too much off on the tech side.
I was going to get into that. Working for Verizon, we had a meeting about the phone, and that's one of my, one thing I heard when I heard in this meeting. Phones will eventually turn into plexiglass, right? Autonomous driving. I'm gonna touch a little bit about it because my thing is, I don't never want us, and that goes for you guys too. I don't want you to undermine the information that you're about to give or stop yourself from giving it, no matter how many times you might have said it, because somebody didn't hear it.
Right.
Say it again. Let them hear it. Remind them, right? Autonomous driving can never be successful if everybody is not on the same device or the same network. Every car needs to know what each car is doing with autonomous driving. I can't be on the Android. You can't be on the iPhone 13, and then D can't be on the iPhone 17. Somebody else can't be on a Nokia. No, because as you're trying to call your car, your processor is not as fast. And now the cars don't know what they're doing. They're moving at a slow speed. And even more than that, each car is not communicating with each other. So there has to be a day where the major networks all come together and say, we're going to partner on this autonomous driving. And when I say major, I only mean two. And I don't want y'all to get freaked out, but I'm going to tell you, you need to start thinking where you scare yourself, because once you do, you're almost there to the truth. You've seen the AT&T outage.
Yeah,
that wasn't a fluke. That wasn't by mistake. All of these companies have servers. You should say to yourself, how come their server didn't kick in? Because every facet of their company was hijacked, where everything shut down. So now I want you to think about it. You have two major telecommunication companies out that make cell phones. One's Verizon, one's AT&T. AT&T, millions of customers lose their service. Where they're going? To either iPhone or they're going to go to an Android. So now you had another attack with AT&T last week that was kept quiet. People didn't hear about it. So once you get rid of that company, now you have to deal with the other company, Verizon. I'm telling you, it's inevitable. You can't have three, especially Verizon's not a tech company. Android, Google, iPhone, Apple tech companies, they all agreed. Remember when the car companies were crashing in Detroit and all the cars were going under? The only reason the car market came back up and everything went back and they started building cars again and they stopped thinking about shipping them out of the country, because those two companies agree, we're going to share our technology to start doing autonomous drivings with each other. Google, you can have the database. Apple, we need to be able to be in the dashboard. We need to be able to do this. And HP, who owns most of the patents, we're going to get on board together and we're going to start working with all of these companies. And now look at all of these cars: Honda, Kia, Mercedes. They had to get the rights to this technology. And once all of these companies came together, tech companies, they made the car market breathe fresh air again. That car market would have collapsed if they didn't agree to share this technology with each other and give them to the car companies.
Wow.
Who's thinking that far, though? We just think it was a fluke. Gas cars are done. Like, I'm going to stop because I'm getting ready to go down some more rabbit holes, bro.
Hey, man, I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. Because this is some next level stuff, you all. So all of you all out there watching this, make sure you go out there and follow my guy. I am the employee millionaire. I am
Storm Leroy.
Magnet.com. Huh?
I am Storm Leroy.
I am Storm
Instagram.
Leroy. I'm butchering it up. But you gonna see this face in that hat. He branded everywhere, you all. And I love that, man. But no, your knowledge is unbelievable, bro. And one of the things that you said, and we've said before, is success leaves clues. But if you're not focused on the success, then you'll focus on all the distractions. And it's enough distractions out there to keep you right where you are in your job, in this rat race, waiting to retire to a 401k that ain't even going to exist, to Social Security that's not even going to exist. And right now is the time to really step up. So focus on what you want to do. It's going to leave you clues, and start following people like my man who is successful and who does give clues to his people and really big the people up. So I had to shout that out.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So let's pivot back into what I am a millionaire magnet is. So I mean, we've talked about investing in yourself, and we've given the people all these facts and everything to scare them and get them nervous about the future, because they gonna think, oh, I'm not ready. What do I do next, Mr. Storm Leroy? What is this? I'm a millionaire magnet, and can you help me out, Mr. Storm Leroy? If a person was to ask you, can you help me, Mr. Storm Leroy, get to where you say that you are? Show me the path. How do I get there? Can you help me? What do you tell a person who is going to ask you that?
I tell them, no, I can't help you. First, you have to start by helping yourself. Then I can work with you, right? Because when you tell somebody and they come to you looking for help, then they're hurt, they're bruised, something's wrong. You can't be a problem solver. You have to have, that person has to come to you humbled and ready to accept that you're going to teach them and give them some valuable information. They need to come with belief. Don't come to me with mindset first. Because before you even had a clue of what that word meant in your life, you were a little kid who believed you can do something. You know, you were that little baby who the parents brought home, laid on the floor, and you saw everybody else walking around and you believed that you can walk. So you started to roll over, you started to sit up, you started to crawl towards the furniture, you stood up on that furniture, you stood up on your legs, and you started to walk. But that started from the belief that you could get up off your stomach and you could start walking. You wasn't a little baby and said, let me get my mindset right. So when people start talking about mindset, you're causing a conflict. It's a conflict of interest. Your interest in your heart is in the belief that you can do something. Now, the interest in your mind is to develop in the mindset to do it. But the message from your heart of the belief has to tell your brain, you came up with the plan and we believe we can do it. But if you don't believe in the plan that you're developing, all you're doing is creating anxiety. Now you're frozen, you're trapped in the middle. You're in this space trying to figure out, where do I go? What do I do? Now you seek mentorship and you go, could you give me some help? No, that's not how it's work. Because then you're going to rely on me to mold and shape your brain and for me to do all these great things, and you don't have to do nothing. Just give me some money and I'm going to do the rest. That's not what mentorship is. That's not what it's all about. I'm not a psychiatrist, right? I'm not someone who you're coming to for therapy. I'm someone who you're coming to going, I believe I can be great. I know I can do this thing. I just need direction. Can you give me direction?
Yes.
Now I'm looking at you going, okay, bet. I like this. We get ready to work. He's going to run through that wall. He ain't going to look at me and go, but, I don't believe I can do that. I don't know. That wall, I don't know. No. So that's what it is. Yes. Everybody who comes to my community or comes around me, you're around a tribe of people who understand from the beginning. You got to have a belief. And now my community, last year, the goal was to have, I was looking at doing somewhere, it was like, I'm going to be honest. I was like, we're going to do $10 million in real estate. And when I started my community literally online, been about almost a year now, but last year was only 8 months within a year. So we did $4 million in real estate purchase, right? That was a great number, great achievement in real estate. But the greatest number that I'm proud of, we did $12 million in legacy growth. What is that? We had almost everybody in the community got updated life insurance policies, what they can cash out on. They had that policy now directed towards their living trust. So people in the community got a living trust. Now they was able to borrow for the money, set up a living trust, buy real estate, and leave that real estate in a living trust. That's going to go throughout their legacy. See, it's never about what you're doing now. The shortest span in existence is now. I snap my finger now and it's over. But it should be about your next, right? You join the community. What's next? You want to get real estate? You bought real estate. What's next? You need to put that in a trust. You need to your next move should always be what you focus on. Anytime you get locked in on, what's what we doing now? It's not how you're going to become successful. You need to start thinking about next and inviting your family into the circle that you're creating. You know why? Because if you're building out this thing, you say, I'm doing this for my wife. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my husband. Yeah, you're doing this for them. But what if you die? The keys die with you. The combination to the safe died with you. The blueprint died with you. You got to give them that information. Until you start believing in your mortality and understanding at any given moment, you will not be here. That goes for all of us. Mortality is real. You'll start moving different. You'll start acting different. You'll start going, baby, look, here's this insurance. Here's how I set this policy up. Here, do you have policy? You know what? Let me get policy on my children. Let me put policy on my mom, my grandmother. We got to get our shit together. And we're really at the end of the ride, y'all. We're at the end of the ride. We came from a ship, went through the fields, been through everything they did to us. Heroin, drugs, slavery, the mistreatment of us as people, miseducation of us. And we still coming out on the other side with an opportunity to grasp $1 trillion of wealth. What other race of people would have survived this? And we're still here, #1 draft picks in sports, #1 in these fields, in entertainment, records. We've made billions of dollars. And you know what we've done with all this now that we got all these things? We've done a disservice to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Sojourner, and all the people in civil rights, all the Black Wall Street people. And this is where, for me, I get on my tangent because I don't expect nobody of wealth to do anything now that we got that. But if you sat down with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X right now and told them, we generate over $1 billion in salary. The top basketball player makes $50 million. You take all the top 10 players in NBA salary is $500 million, just the top 10. Now you take the entire league, which is mostly black, that's $1 billion of salary. Take the NBA and you sit down with Malcolm and Martin and tell them, we generate billions every year. We make trillions for these networks. And Martin and Malcolm will look back at us and go, man, that was incredible. All this fighting we done paid off. Now I want y'all to take me and Martin, show us our banks, show us our neighborhoods, show us our schools, show us our entertainment networks, show us our own leagues, show us that. See, Black Wall Street did something with less. Those people were one generation from slavery and had a town, had hardware stores. One generation from slavery had less. We have billions of dollars in our ecosystem and we don't have nothing. We created a generation of me's, a generation of followers. One of the things that crippled us in our generation, our youngest generation, was the follow button. I hate to get into that, my guys, and talk about it, but I think we still think we got time left. What comes next after we got these players making $50 million? How much their kids gonna make? What come next when we had a president of the United States that was black? What can come after that? What can come after all the great achievements we've made? But we almost there. We almost there. Once we get the black president, we gonna be there. Well, we had it already. Well, once we get to top this, we had it already. There's nothing else that could come. So stop asking for more and go do something with what we have, because that generation from slavery with Black Wall Street had an entire town from less than what we have now. And they had that taken from them, burnt down to the ground. And you mean to tell me Malcolm and Martin will look at us and say, I'm so proud that y'all made all this money and built something. It's just my opinion.
Man, mic drop, man. And that's, yeah, I don't know if you want to jump in, but I want to just say this. I know we're coming to the end of the hour, and I want to respect your time, Storm, man. It's been so fire. And that's why I like to start off with the questions, but just let the conversation flow, because these are conversations that need to be had and that wasn't on the agenda, but it made for a much better conversation. So I thank you for going that direction with it, man. And one thing prior to us closing that I want to ask you as well is that I know there's going to be a lot of people listening to you saying, okay, you're not a magician when it comes to mentorship. You have to come into mentorship with a certain type of belief in yourself, and you can't implant that in somebody. Is there any tip that you would give a person out there? Because I speak to many people often who don't have any clarity, who haven't even considered what their, I guess, purpose is or what direction they should start going in. Is there any type of clarity as we close that you can give people that'll kind of get them going in the right direction to get prepared for mentorship, to get them prepared to walk their path that they know that they need to be walking?
Yeah, the number one thing is change. You have to change. You can't say, I want to be a better version of myself. If you're at 60% and the 60% has not been achieving the goals you want, that means that other 40% requires a change. It's not if you were a procrastinator, if you were lazy and you're going to become a better version, you're going to be a better procrastinator, a better lazy person. You have to change completely who you are so you can become the other 40% that's missing, because that thing you're doing now ain't working. So change your thought process and stop saying, oh, I got to stop hanging around my friends. I got to stop hanging around these people. No, they will stop hanging around you as soon as you change who you are. Just change. And everything else will start to happen once you bear witness the power of changing does.
My man. Hey, you know what? Everybody out there listening, I know we didn't get to go into the trust, but go to my man's community at IamMillionaireMagnet.com. Like, it's mind blowing, because before I met you, bro, I didn't even know what a trust was. Trust in what? What's a trust? What? I've heard of a will, but I've never heard of what's a trust. But you break it down. We're gonna say that. Look, if you want to know about the trust, go out there to my man's site, get into his community, see what they're talking about, because I promise you, you'll be a better person. But as he stated, if you on that bullshit, keep it moving. don't even waste my man's time, because we gonna see you. And we know those. I mean, like, I know he may look like he about 30 years old, but my man got a few years on him. You know, he just shaved it off. But we have some wisdom, you all, and we're all about building up the people and giving the people what they need. So, my man, as always, I mean, I expected nothing else. You definitely delivered on who you are, who your community is, and what your purpose is. And I love what you're doing with the people, man, and building their communities. And keep doing what you're doing, bro, because we need more like you, because you are a Malcolm, you are a Martin.
Man, don't
And
put
I
that
mean,
on me, brother.
no, I'm putting it on you, because listen, I've seen
I'm a
you
vessel.
change the lives of people that with something new that people were not like. It takes a bold person to say some of the things that you said. It took courage and being bold with Malcolm and Martin and a lot of the others to really stand out and say, listen, we got to do something different, because again, we live in the world of distractions, and this thing right here will keep you busy all day long, and you'll be sitting right there waiting to die. And what my man is showing you is a way for you to live and become the best version of you by changing who you are. So again, bro, I
Thank
salute
y'all,
you, my
man. Thank you.
man. Always, you know it's love for sure. Take us out, Dimitri, man. Or you want me to? Hey, go
yes,
out there,
sir.
WTFMA.com. We got all the links out there. If you want to link with us, check us out. Definitely check out the podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, all of the different platforms. And yeah, we doing it, you all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as we close out, appreciate that, E. As we close out, I want to open the floor up one last time to you, Storm. If you want to just go ahead and plug any last events that you have going on, any last words you want to leave to the people. This is your time before we end this dope fire. This podcast was everything, man. I appreciate you, dog.
Man, only thing I don't want to leave for the people is to never forget, always seek knowledge.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Peace.
I love it. I
Yes,
love
sir.
it. Great last words. Everybody, thank y'all for joining another wonderful podcast. We had Mr. Storm, employed millionaire Leroy here. Go ahead and check out his website, his mentorship, IamAMillionaireMagnet.com. And you'll find everything that you need to know about him on Instagram and his social media pages. But until our next podcast episode, always remember that WTF not only means what's the formula, but it also stands for our mantra, which is winning takes focus. And until next time, everybody stay focused and keep winning. Peace.
Peace, y'all.